Hello, welcome back. Today I'm at the Wesley Chapel Cemetery in Westminster, Colorado. It is a pioneer cemetery established in 1889. There are around 110 burials here. However, not all of them have markers. And as you can probably hear, it is now actually right by a very populated suburban area. So I apologize if you hear all the traffic, but we're gonna go ahead and explore all the graves in here, and I'll tell you a little bit about a few of the people that we do know about. Alright, we're gonna walk into the gates here. It's by two very heavily trafficked streets, so again, you're gonna hear a bunch of cars. But up there in front of me is 120th, which is a very heavily used street, and then over to my right over here is Huron, another pretty major busy street. So it does feel kind of weird checking out a cemetery in the middle of all this traffic, but alright, so Wesley Chapel Cemetery served as the burial ground of many of rural Adams County, Colorado pioneers from approximately 1891 through 1939. The cemetery originally was associated with a church, the Wesley Chapel, which was located south of the cemetery. The church has been gone for decades, but the cemetery has remained in place and preserved. Wesley Chapel Cemetery was first dedicated as a family graveyard on October 1891 with the death of 37-year-old Frances Moxley, who died from tuberculosis. She was buried here on the Moxley farm. The Moxley family cemetery was later dedicated as a cemetery for the larger community. The wood frame Maury Chapel, later renamed Wesley Chapel, was constructed just south of the cemetery around 1891 to 1892 and became a community gathering place for the surrounding region. Richard Moxley then donated this land of Wesley Chapel Cemetery as a gift to the Wesleyan Methodist Church and Cemetery Association for a rural chapter in the cemetery. The chapel was demolished in the 1930s, and its lumber and stained glass windows were moved for the construction of the Broomfield Methodist Church. The Wesley Chapel Cemetery Association, composed of surviving family members, continued to own and maintain the site throughout the remainder of the 1900s. In the final decades of the 20th century, the area surrounding Wesley Chapel Cemetery was incorporated into the city of Westminster to ensure future maintenance and that the burial ground remained historic and undeveloped. The Cemetery Association donated the site to the city of Westminster in 2001. So I believe south of here, on this land, was originally where the chapel was, right over there. And say hi to all the cars. And then all of the graves are mostly north over here. So the city of Westminster did make this an historical site. So the good news is nothing will be developed here anymore. So I wanted to start here with the Moxley family plot. this is a family who started it all, actually. So, the first burial of Francis Moxley is way over here, and it's kind of hidden beneath this fallen tree here, but I'll try to get up here. And I can barely make out. Yeah, Francis Moxley died October 17th, 1891, aged 37 years. So it was said she died from tuberculosis, and she was the first burial here. This was originally where the Moxley family had their farm, and then became a cemetery. So here's another Moxley, Percy Moxley, 1903 to 1924. Edith Danley. It says 1884 to 19, so I don't know if she is actually buried here. Maybe she just had a marker, but isn't actually here anymore. And she doesn't have a year of death. And then here we have at rest Richard Moxley, 1852 to 1928. Now, Richard Moxley, he was the one that, donated this land to the Cemetery Association after the Moxleys owned it here. And this fenced area, I know, is the Hutchinson family plot. So we have some Hutchinson family in here. Let's see if I can get in this gate. Looks like Arthur L. 1870 to 1899. This is a Kate May Hutchinson, 1876 to 1894. Here's a Mary E. Hutchinson, 1847 to 1922. I'm guessing this is her little footstand. It says MEH. There's another little one in the corner over here. Theodore A. Hutchinson, 1842 to 1929. First Sergeant. Oh, yeah, so Theodore Hutchinson was a Union Civil War veteran, and he's one of two in the cemetery, so there's another one. And there's an American flag for him. There's a few more up here. Underneath this tree. This one says Johnson. Clara Johnson, 1872 to 1967. So originally she was the last person buried here, but I know of two more recent ones actually that have been buried here with her family. So it used to say this was the last burial, but I know that is not the case anymore. And then we have Ben Johnson over here. That must be her husband. Get out from underneath this tree. So that was the Hutchinson family plot. This gate back, okay. Continue on this way. a Joseph Scott, 1830 to 1891, Agnes Scott Maxwell, 1859 to 1904, Matthew Maxwell, 1853 to 1919. So we do know that most people here were actually farmers and ranchers, and a lot of them came from Nebraska and Kansas, and a lot of them were German descent too, which we'll probably see. And here's a front of it. This is Marion. There's a Joseph and a Felina. It's a really nice one. Ella Wood, 1871 to 1902. I wonder if this is some kind of marker of some sort. Marie Bork, wife of August Halleck, born March 20th, 1831, died January 11th, 1904. And here's some more Hallecks over here. Fred Halleck and Herman Halleck. Little end markers for them. 1854 to 1933, and then Herman, 1861 to 1933. Oh yes, I know about Louise Tuck. March 15th, 1867 and March 9th, 1909. Now, Louise had 9 children, 4 sons and 5 daughters, of which there were 2 sets of twins, which were both boy and girl twins. In the first set of twins, the son died at age 2, and then she died 1 month after the birth of her last child due to complications from the birth. And her husband was actually no, this wasn't her husband, I apologize. I think that was his daughter, if I remember. So Alfred Tuck was actually the Reverend of Wesley Chapel here, and he was originally born in England, and I believe his wife stayed back in England, and I think, yes, Louise is his daughter that accompanied him here. So, and this is Reverend there. And then I know one of Louise's babies was buried over here. Sad. This is baby Tuck. August 16th, 1921. Looks like someone has left a ring or something right there. Let's go to this area. Infant children of Louise E. and Sue A. Plaster, F.E. Born October 13th, 1886. Grace. Born January 9th, 1889. Such is the kingdom. There's a Sullivan here. Alda 1893 to 1987, and Patrick 1891 to 1964. We have the Dill Savers. Albert 1864 to 1925, and Lana 1868 to 1947. Oh, I believe the Dill Savers, they were the farmers that came from Kansas, if I remember correctly. And most of the people here, they lived only a few miles away. Or their farms were only a few miles away. So over here, I know we have the Hartley section. This is Japs Square Hartley, 1851 to 1904. Robert and Isabel Hartley. It's a pretty big monument. George McCracken, 1864 to 1906. Says something, sleep. Deer. Should have brought my flashlight. Looks like he has some interesting drawings up there. I don't really know what they are. Yeah, I actually grew up in this area as a kid, and my middle school is actually right up the street, and I remember, I forget which class it was, but one of the classes we actually did walk down here to look at the cemetery as like a field trip. We just walked down here and to look at the headstones, and back then the teacher actually had us do a grave rubbing, which is funny because you're not supposed to do that anymore because it does harm, and it's actually been banned and made illegal. But when I was a kid, we came down here to do that. And I don't really remember which one I did. I'll have to see if anything strikes a memory with me, but this one is really cool. It has a book on top. It says this is pretty weathered. I think it says David Faulkner died February 7th, 1897. Aged 44 years. I think it feels like 44 years. Wow. Oh, here's the back of the Hartley one. Oh, here's the Frey family. I know there's a big Frey family here. Father John, 1841 and 1925, and Mother Elizabeth, 1840 to 1907. Gone but not forgotten pioneers. On this other side, we have a few more. So this is John, son of John and Emma Frey. Died May 7, 1898. I think it was a little boy. Yeah. Aged 8 years, 6 months. And then here we have a John Frey. 1865 and 1925. Oh, this must be the parents here. And then Emma Frey. December 30th, 1899. Oh, that must have been one of the kids too. It's just so sad. There was just a lot of children. It kind of shows just how hard it was to survive back in those days, right? Just from giving childbirth alone, or the babies getting sick. So this is the most, people say this is their favorite one here, the most decorated one of this cross. And you can see there's a German inscription here. Du hast, I'm not even going to try. I'm going to butcher it so bad, but there's a German inscription of Jacob Frey, 1867 to 1899. It has a footstone here that says father. Yeah, that is pretty cool. So there's a fire here. Father, 1831 to 1909. Mother, 1840 to 1910. At rest. Then there's Eppinger family plot here. It's like 1859 to 1908, and Teresa Eppinger, 1859 to 1918. Father and mother. The marked one with rocks, that must be the Eppingers here. Yeah, this is the Bristol family plot. We have some interesting. So this one right here, I believe, is Fred's. And I saw online that he was a blacksmith, so maybe that's why they have really cool, interesting ones. And he probably, oh, maybe he made these himself. But right next to him, there's a car. Bristol, really interesting one. There's a Hannah Bristol. Looks like 1878 to 1963. And then a Christina Fredley, 1856 to 1940. And they also have very interesting footstones too. Their headstones. And I just saw this, just a cement slab there, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe it used to be a headstone. I'm gonna go look at these ones behind underneath the tree here. Gonna have to duck again. And this is Sarah Parcells, his mother, March 28th, 1842 to June 24th, 1921. This is Madeline Patterson, February 17th, 1865 to October 27th, 1941. Someone has left a rug over here. And there's a James Patterson, hey, like the author, 1858 to 1959. So we do know that James Patterson here, and I believe Madeline was his wife next to him, but he was a dairy farmer. I guess his dairy was also close to this area, off 120th as well, so. Alright, we'll get out from underneath this tree here. There's a wine garden. Victor 1919 to 1926, and in August, I think this is May 1 through 5th, 1960. Oh, sad. Only like 4 days old. There's a few little ones tucked over here. This looks like a homemade one. It's very hard to read, but I think it might say born 1932, died 1937 maybe. Sometimes I can read it better once I go back and look at the video, but probably very young, at least probably 5. And there's another little one over here. Another handmade, hand-carved one. Looks like born 1929, maybe. And also died 1929. No, probably an infant. Another little one. Underneath this tree here. Lawrence Canterbury. So this is the one I know of. That's the latest one buried here. 1925 to 2017. So I think this is the last burial. And probably because it looks like there's some Canterburies next to him, so he had a family plot here. There's a Fern Canterbury. July 21st, 1930 to November 14th, 1930. Man, barely 4 months. There's also a Fay Canterbury, 1904 to 1931. Barely 27. There's one up here. Richard Effinger, infant son of Robert and Madeline, 1928. Oh, an infant. Alright, there's a few more right up along the fence here, so it's going to get really loud with traffic. This is Daniel Gwynn, died 1924. Must be an infant. Gonna be right next to the cars up here. That will be fun. Sure, I'm gonna get some looks. Fortunately, there's just a bunch of trash and litter from the busy roads here. Every time, there's always a loud motorcycle. Always. There's a Nick Miller, died in 1932. He must be another infant. Robert Correa, February 1930 to August 29, 1930. So like 7 months. Korea, 1913 to 1930, still pretty young. And there's a Juanita Trujillo, 1853 to 1929. David Fernandez, 1932, April 1932 to September 1932. For like 5 months. Jeez. Josecito Fernandez, July 1929 to December 14, 1930. Like really 6 months. Jacob Fial died 1934. Must be another infant. Oh, so young, these all kids. I think this is the other Union Civil War veteran. Yeah, Ambrose Langston, Civil War veteran. Always the loud ones over there. Alright, he's got his flag. Yeah, so I came here on a Sunday hoping the traffic wouldn't be as bad on these busy streets compared to the weekday. Oh, there's another motorcycle. Alright, Charles L. Scott, February 22nd to April 12th, 1919. Geez, barely 2 months. I think there's a few more over here. Ew, this one has tennis shoes, which is pretty interesting. It's like a Joseph Renegel. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Born November 13th, 1890. Died August 15th, 1903. So like 13. I don't know why there's tennis shoes for him, but it's fun. There's a few more little ones over here we didn't get to. It's like L.C. Snook, May 20th, 1894, died October 1st, 1907. Maybe another 13-year-old, gone but not forgotten. I don't think there's any more in that corner. It's like it's just trash. Let's see. There's another little one here. Looks like a Samuel. It's really hard to read. It looks like aged maybe 5 months, and it's pretty cracked. You know, looking at this one, it kind of jogs my memory. This might be the one I actually did my grave robbing of when I was in middle school, and I was like 13 or 14 or something when we came down here. So I think I remember it. I think I chose this one because I thought it was so sad he was only 5 months, and also that it was cracked. I think that's why I did it. Might be Samuel Frost. Yeah. Born. It's really hard to read. Maybe 1902. That one is sad. I'm pretty sure that was the one I did. I have no idea what I did with that grave really after that. I have no idea what happened to it. But obviously you can't do those anymore. So he's dope. That was way back in the day. when I was young. Oh, I noticed on this Jacob Fry one, there's a little inscription there, probably by the people who made it. Beha and Boom, Denver. I know the sun's in the way. I'm casting a shadow no matter what. It is a very beautiful one. Alright, I think we just have a few more up here we haven't looked at yet. And Corey Harris. And next to it, Alon Brown, 1861 to 1933. Oh, so I know Lon Brown was a farmer. Him and his wife, Enos. Now, there's nothing carved there, so maybe Enos has ended up somewhere else. But I know that they're farmers. I think from Nebraska, if I remember. Noticing there's kind of like a mound there. I don't know if something is there or not. There's a few more over here. Wesley Waters. It looks like maybe 1903 to 1905. Oh geez. 2-year-old and a Leslie Waters, 1906 to 1907, and 1 and 2-year-old. That's a chubby. And up here we have the Quimby family plot. There's a Jonathan and a Maria. Oh, they died like the same year. I think they have the footstones around the front. This is father and mother. There's an Eleanor Quimby, 1865 to 1935. And there's a Charles Quimby, 1869 to 1944. So I know Charles Quimby was a contractor, carpenter. And I guess people said he liked to drink a lot. So they were surprised that maybe he lived to almost 100 there. Good for you, Charles. Okay, there's, looks like a Martin family up here. Carl Martin, December 1894 to July 1895. Oh, barely 7-month-old. Leonard Martin, September 1897 to February 1898. This is another like 8-month-old. There's a mother, Isidelia Martin, 1873 to 1900. And we have father, Walter Martin, 1868 to 1931. There's like a few more. Stella Foster, 1902 to 1917. Elvin Foster, 1856 to 1920. Alright, I think we've seen them all. There's a whole lot of children. And probably disease. But this is a little pioneer cemetery. Hope you enjoyed that video and getting to see the Wesley Chapel Cemetery, a pioneer cemetery established in 1889. Please like and subscribe for some more videos, and I'll see you at the next grave. Thanks.